eloquently stated, "You make a living by what you get, but you make a life by what you give." This approach toward our nation is what Ben and I agree with. Specifically, the resolution is that the U.S. federal government should establish a system of compulsory national service for all U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 24. So let's break this down. As defined by the Collins English Dictionary, compulsory means essential. Also, as defined by the Webster's New World Dictionary, national means of or affecting a nation as a whole, and service means friendly help. So basically, Ben and I are arguing that the U.S. federal government should establish a system of essential friendly help for others that affects our nation as a whole, for all U.S. citizens between the ages of 18 and 24. This resolution is a win-win situation for the young adults who are helping others and the people who are receiving the aid. During our history, there have been countless times that U.S. presidents implemented conscription, which is mandatory military enlistment. Therefore, this resolution is 100% constitutional. Some examples of times when a president implemented conscription were during the Revolutionary War, War of 1812, and the Civil War. Also, drafts have been enabled during times of peace as well. For example, the first National Conscription Act established a peacetime uniform militia, mandatory for every white male between the ages of 18 and 45. Why would our government enable a draft? Well, because it was for the greater good of our country, which is exactly what compulsory national service will do. Our purpose behind this is primarily focused on the greater good of our country. To be clear, we are not arguing for conscription. We are arguing for national service. The difference is that conscription is a military draft and national service is any service that helps our nation. Additionally, as the economy slows and nonprofit organizations struggle to provide services on smaller budgets, volunteers become even more vital to the health of our nation's communities. With that said, according to volunteeringinamerica.gov, only 22% of young adults ages 16 to 24 volunteered in 2008. 22% is barely 1 in every 5 people helping others. It is immoral for the negative to think that this minuscule amount of people doing community service is sufficient. We need to act now and stop this problem before it is too late. There are 3 main reasons why this resolution needs to happen. 1, it is a win-win situation. What I mean by this is that it benefits the young adults doing national service and the people receiving the help. 2, it implements the value of giving back, teamwork, and responsibility. And 3, it will produce a beneficial outcome for our communities and our nation. Opening the eyes of young adults in our country to the benefits of joining the military will have a great impact on them. Deb Wood, mother of Jody, who is in the Army, says, "The Army definitely offers young people a good option, which I would have never considered before our daughter presented it to us. Not only does military service benefit our society, but so does community service." Mary Gallagher, a 25-year-old single mother, was raising 3 children, one of whom was disabled, living in a roach-infested 2-bedroom apartment with 3 other roommates. Now, Mary and her family live in a new Habitat for Humanity house in a community that college students help build. Gallagher says, "Habitat has truly healed my family, as it has so many others. Not only has Habitat helped me gain a beautiful new home, but also a brighter, healthier future for my children." Thank you so much for your kind and loving hearts. Without people like you, my family would still be lost in the crowd. Clearly, helping others is a win-win situation that can only have a positive effect on our society. Second, community service implements the value of giving back, teamwork, and responsibility. Alan Woodson, Habitat for Humanity's Director of Youth Volunteer Engagement, says, "The creativity, enthusiasm, and leadership youth volunteers bring to Habitat for Humanity are vital every day. Young people are building during their school breaks, fundraising on their campuses, revitalizing neighborhoods in their communities, and becoming educated advocates for affordable housing. They are making a lasting impact on the world right now, and they are building skills to lead this movement into the future." By helping with Habitat for Humanity or any other community service program, these young adults will learn to get along with new and different people. Also, they will learn how to work as a team, providing them with the skills like time management and responsibility, which will be essential to have later in their lives. Third, this resolution will have a positive effect on our country and community. According to TeenViolenceStatistics.com, right now, more than 24,500 gangs are active in the U.S. 772,500 people are members of gangs in the U.S., and gun violence puts us further in debt, with it costing us more than $100 billion a year. Compulsory national service will help reduce gang violence in America, because compulsory national service will become the way of life, not gang violence. Every citizen who takes part will have their own sense of respect and power, whether it is through the military or in a community service-based program. According to the Praxis Strategy Group analysis of U.S. Census population projections, there are about 26 million Americans between the ages of 18 and 24. Over 1.1 million of them are in prison, as stated on Ohio.gov. In Ohio, the total amount of community service done by people in jail totaled to 4.2 million hours, which equals over $100 million. Also stated on Ohio.gov, those who did community service during their jail sentence were 72% less likely to go back to jail. If the negative says that we don't have enough money to implement this plan, then they are wrong. If every person in the U.S. did community service, it would accumulate to over $108 billion. Not to mention the most inmates are repeating offenders, so we are saving the government money, taxpayers' money, land, and police work. An example of community service helping a neighborhood occurred on the street that was once referred to as the worst block in the San Francisco Valley, which now is being transformed through a community service effort. Residents are pulling together to build community pride, self-esteem, and keep their youth from becoming crime statistics. In fact, the community just honored students graduating from elementary, middle, and high school. Hugo Gomez, 16, says, "When I was a little kid, I wanted to be a gangster because that's all I knew. But he changed his mind after attending a youth leadership meeting and saw kids like him turning themselves around." This one success story could turn into thousands across our nation if every citizen dedicated a portion of their time to helping others. As you can see, the U.S. federal government establishing a system of essential friendly help for others that affects our nation as a whole is for the greater good of our country and is a win-win situation. Vote for a better nation. Vote affirmative. Thank you.